Hello students. Today in this lecture we will continue in chapter 1 and the last topic, that is the tool life. So to understand tool life, first of all let us consider a first single point cutting tool. So as you can see in the figure, this single point cutting tool is used to remove the material from the workpiece, and as this particular tip remove the material from the workpiece, after certain time this particular tips blunt out. That means this tip reduces its sharpness, and due to which material removal does not take place. So the time up to which this particular tip remains capable to remove the material from workpiece, that particular time is called as the tool life. So the time up to which any cutting tool is useful to remove the material from the workpiece in a single time, that is called as the tool life of that particular material. So if we define the tool life is used to calculate the tool material performance and its machinability. And this tool life can be defined in many different ways, from which the first one is time period up to which single point cutting tool is useful to remove the material, and it is always considered in minute. Now the second way to consider the tool life, that is the amount of material removed or the volume of material removed from the workpiece, that is also considered as the tool life. So volume of material removed from the workpiece between two successive regrinding, that is nothing but the tool life. And the third way, the how this tool life can be defined, the third way can be considered as number of component machined between regrinding. Means how many number of component can be machined by a single point cutting tool or any cutting tool between two successive regrinding, that is also considered as the tool life. So here the major way used to define the tool life, that is the time period between two successive regrindings. And this tool life is defined by many different number of persons, and from which the most important and widely used equation, that is the Taylor's tool life equation. And to understand this Taylor tool life equation, let us have a look at simple relation that this Taylor has given. So the Taylor has given the relationship between cutting speed and tool life, and as this relationship is given by Taylor, and that's why this equation is called as the Taylor's tool life equation. So the Taylor's tool life equation is V multiplied by T to the power of N equal to constant. So this is the relation obtained by Taylor, and this equation gives the relationship between cutting speed and the tool life. So here as you can see, this V indicates the cutting speed, and cutting speed normally considered in mm per minute, whereas the T, that is the tool life, and it is considered in minute, and the N, that is the tool life index, and this tool life index depends on the material of the tool. And the next or last one, that is the C, which is the machining constant, and this depends on the different machining operations that are performed on the workpiece using that particular tool. So if we plot the graph between this cutting speed and the tool life, the equation that derived by the Taylor, so the plot obtained, that is, you can see over here on the y-axis cutting speed is considered, and on the x-axis tool life is considered. And here as you can see, when the cutting speed is maximum at that time tool life is comparatively lower. And similarly, if you see, if the cutting speed is lower at that time, tool life is comparatively higher. That means this tool life and cutting speed both are inversely proportional to each other. Means if cutting speed increases, means then the tool life will decrease. Similarly, if cutting speed decreases, then at that time tool life will increase. So this is the basic interpretation of this tool life equation. And remember this equation, as this equation will be helpful to solve the examples that we will discuss in our further topics. Now, next, from this tool life equation, we can see that the tool life is affected by the cutting speed. Similarly, there are many different factors are available which affects the tool life of the tool. And for that, now let us understand the different factors that are affecting tool life. So from that, the first one, that is the cutting speed. And as we have seen in our last slide, this cutting speed if increases, then tool life decreases. That means we can write over here, if cutting speed increases, then tool life decreases. And it is also possible if cutting speed decreases, then tool life increases. Now the next one, that is the feed. And now to understand this factor, let us first of all understand what is the feed. So if we see over here, suppose this is the workpiece available and tool is available over here, which is used for machining purpose, and it is moved in particular direction from right hand side to the left hand side. So at that time, the movement of tool towards the workpiece to remove the material in particular time, that particular time range for the movement of material is considered as the feed. And similarly, the case is over here that if feed is increases, let us indicate it by F. If feed is increases, then again tool life will decreases. Similarly, again vice versa is also possible. If feed is decreases, then tool life will increase. Now the third one, that is the depth of cut. And to understand this, again let us see what is the depth of cut. Suppose again, look in this figure, if the size of this workpiece, it is 10 mm, and if we want to remove the material from this particular cylindrical workpiece and we want to make it 6 mm, then how is it possible? So to remove or to make this component of 6 mm, what one need to do? So for that, this tool, if available over here, then this tool need to be moved towards the length of the workpiece, and similarly this tool needs to be moved perpendicular to the length of the workpiece to remove the material in perpendicular direction. So during a single movement, how much amount of this tool is moved towards the workpiece or inside of the workpiece, that is considered as the depth of cut. Suppose to make from 10 to 6, if we move the workpiece 1 mm inside, and as it is the cylindrical component, this will remove the material from both sides, and due to which first this 10 mm becomes 8 mm. So in this case, the depth of cut for cylindrical workpiece that is considered is the 1 mm, because due to this the material is removed from 10 mm and it is made up to 8 mm. So the movement of the tool perpendicular to the length of workpiece to remove the material, or if we can see that reduce the diameter of the material, so this particular concept is called as the depth of cut. And as you can see, in a single stroke, if we say we are removing material from 10 to 8 mm, and if we are removing material directly from 10 to 6 mm, then what happens? In the case of 10 to 8 mm, material removal is comparatively lower, whereas in the case of 10 to 6 mm, material removal is larger, and in this case the depth of cut given is comparatively more, and as the material removal is comparatively larger, forces and power required to remove the material are comparatively larger, and due to which there are chances of the tool wear very fastly. So as we can see, the tool wear is comparatively lower in the case of removal from 10 to 8 mm, and tool wear is comparatively larger from 10 mm to 6 mm. So if tool wear is more, that means tool life is lower, and if the tool wear is comparatively smaller, that means tool life is more. So again, you can see over here, in the case of depth of cut, if depth of cut increases, at that time depth of cut increases, that means 10 to 6 mm directly, so tool wear increases and this tool life decreases. And again, it is also possible if depth of cut is comparatively lower, at that time the tool life is comparatively higher. So in three of these cases, that is cutting speed, feed and depth of cut, the tool life is inversely proportional. That means the increment in these particular factors result into decrease in the tool life. So considering all these factors, another equation is developed to consider all these important factors, and this equation is written as V into T raised to N, F raised to P and D raised to Q, that is equal to constant. So this is the another equation which gives the relationship between cutting speed, feed, depth of cut and the tool life. And here as you can see, V is the cutting speed, T is the tool life, F is the feed, D is the depth of cut, here C, as we have seen in last slide, C is the machining constant, and these N, P and Q, these are the tool index, and these all tool index depends on the tool material. So these are the three main major factors which affect the tool life. So other than these, there are also different factors are available, from which the next one, that is the tool geometry. So if you can see what is the effect of tool geometry on tool lives. So for that we will consider two important angles. The first one, that is the rake angle, and second one, that is the clearance angle. So in this case, let us draw the figure. So in this figure, which is the rake angle? So as we have studied, as this horizontal makes the angle with this face, and this angle is called as the rake angle. So now let us have an example. If this rake angle increases, so increment in rake angle considered as this type of figure, and as you can see, in this particular case what happens, the area available at the tip of the particular tool, and in the second case area available at the tip of the tool, these two are different, and the machining is taking place at that time. This area is comparatively more, that means this can resist larger forces and power. And whereas in this particular case, the area available to resist the force are comparatively lower, and due to which there might be a chances that this tip of the tool is very sharp, so due to which this tip may get blunt during the machining operation. So now you can see over here, in the case of increase in rake angle, what happens, the tip of the tool may get blunt out easily. So in another word, we can say that if rake angle increases, that means tool life decreases. Now let us have another example for the same case. If this rake angle decreases, so decrement in rake angle give us the figure like this. So as you can see, the downward direction considered as the positive, that means upward direction considered as the negative. So here this is the negative rake angle, and this negative rake angle, if you see, the area available by this tip is comparatively very large, that means it can sustain very large forces and power during machining operation. That means if very hard and brittle materials are available at that time, this negative rake angle is helpful to remove the material from the workpiece. So in another word, if rake angle decreases, that means if negative rake angle is provided and negative rake angle is increased, in this case this tool life will also increase. That means now if we summarize, for the case of rake angle, positive rake angle, increment in positive rake angle result into decrement of the tool life, and the increase in negative rake angle result into the increase in tool life of the material. So this is the effect of rake angle on the tool life of particular material. Now the next angle, that is the clearance angle. So again let us draw the figure, and here as we have studied, if we draw the vertical line at the tip of the tool, and as this vertical line makes the angle with the flank, and this angle is called as the clearance angle. And this clearance angle is helpful to reduce the friction between the workpiece and the material. So suppose if this clearance angle is not provided, then what happens? Then the flank of the tool is considered as the vertical, and if we want to remove the material from the workpiece, then you can see over here what happens. This particular tool during the movement in the vertical directional directly only provides friction to the surface of this workpiece. So there is only a frictional force between the workpiece and the tool, and no material removal takes place. So this clearance angle is important for removal of the material from the workpiece, and it helps to reduce the friction between this tool and the workpiece. So this is the also importance of clearance angle compared to the tool life. Now other than this, another factor, that is the tool material. So the tool material is the simplest case to consider which affecting factor of the tool life. So if the material of the tool is comparatively hard, and if the material of the tool is ductile, these are the two cases. Now if we see, workpiece material is harder than the tool material. So if this is the case, now again I am saying, if workpiece material is harder than the tool material, then what happens? So this tool is not able to remove the material from the workpiece because the workpiece is comparatively harder, so there are no chances of removal of material. So the tool material needs to be selected based on the workpiece material available, and always keep in mind that the tool material needs to be comparatively harder than the workpiece material, because this will help to remove the material from the workpiece. Now the next case is similar to this of the tool material, and the next case this is the work material. So here these two are the combined criteria, means if work material is hard and if work material is ductile, based on that different tool needs to be selected, and there are different number of tools are available which can be used based on the workpiece material. So the different tool materials available are, from which the most widely used are, first one that is the high speed steel, which is normally written as HSS. Now the second one that is the cemented carbide tool, and this cemented carbide tool is mostly used to remove the material from very hard and brittle workpieces, whereas this high speed steel is useful to remove the material from the ductile workpieces, which is very easy to perform the operation. So other than this, the next factor that is the nature of cutting. So there are mainly two different types of cutting operations, and the first one that is the continuous cutting, and second one that is the intermittent cutting. So this continuous cutting operation in which the forces and power are continuous during entire machining operation, whereas in the case of intermittent cutting there might be a chances that depends on the workpiece surface the forces and power required or the speed provided that are variable during the machining operation. So when there is a fluctuation in load or power supply during machining operation, at that time the tool failure chances are comparatively higher. So we can see that in the case of intermittent cutting operation, tool life is comparatively lower due to the fluctuation in forces and power required, whereas in the case of continuous cutting operation, the forces and power supplied are comparatively constant during machining operation, so at that time tool life is comparatively higher. So based on these different cutting operations also the tool life gets affected, so we need to consider an important cutting operation based on the requirement. And the last one or the most important factor again, that is the cutting fluid. So in the case of cutting fluid, simply as we know, this cutting fluid is supplied during the machining operation to remove the heat generated during that machining operation. So the supply of cutting fluid is most important to provide the good tool life during machining operation. So again, if we simply write, this supply of cutting fluid result into increment of the tool life. And if the cutting fluid is not supplied, so the higher heat is generated and which result into the blunt out of this tool particular. So cutting fluid supply is most important, and the supply of cutting fluid increases the tool life. So these are the major 8 factors which affect the tool life. So again, in simple normal way, if we consider, if all these parameter increases, then what is the effect on tool life? So again, if cutting speed increases, then tool life decreases. Similarly, if feed increases, then tool life decreases. If depth of cut increases, then tool life decreases. Similarly, in the case of tool geometry, let us consider, if rake angle or if positive rake angle increases, then tool life decreases, and if negative rake angle increases, then tool life decreases. Similarly, the clearance angle provision is important as it helps to remove the material. So that means if clearance angle is provided, this means tool life will increase. The next, Another factor, that is the tool material, that is needs to be selected based on the work material only, and the nature of cutting, in which the continuous cutting provides the better tool life. So in this lecture we have discussed about what is tool life, what is the major equation that is derived by Taylor, and what is the importance of that equation, and what are the different factors affecting the tool life. So all these topics are important as an example point of view also, so keep repeating all these topics, and in this first chapter we have covered most of the important topics available. So looking forward to see you all in our next lecture. Up to then, thank you.